Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our cord so we can hang our duck. So I've got my medium dull needle here, and I've also got my polyamide thread, which is the same thread that we've been using throughout our course so far. So I'm going to cut probably about 1/2 metre there or thereabouts, just because I like to err on the side of caution and have a bit more than I need. And I'm just going to trim it off, and then once it's trimmed I'm going to thread one end through my medium dull needle, which should be pretty straightforward because they are big needles, so the eye to get your thread through is quite large, and your thread's nice and solid as well, so it shouldn't be too difficult to thread it through. Now once you've threaded your needle, you want to flip your duck over, and you want to initially pierce your needle about 1/2 inch from the outer edge of the duck's head and about 3/4 of the way down, so where you can see my needle going through here, and we're going to thread it through to the front of the duck's head and bring that polyamide thread through. And you want to have a reasonable amount coming through. You want enough so that it makes it easy for you to tie a knot. So we're going to tie a really strong knot now, and I'm just doing a regular knot where I'm just threading it through the loop, and I'm going to probably repeat this about 3 to 4 times, so I've got a reasonable sized knot, so I know that when it's sat on a wool, that knot's not going to be pulled through the wool, it's going to be nice and secure. So I'm just going to probably go for another one of those just to be doubly sure and err on the side of caution, like I like to do. And then once you're happy with the size of your knot, you want to flip your duck back over again, and then just pull that thread through again. So as you can see here, I haven't flipped it back over, but I've just pulled it through, and just give it a tug to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. And then re-thread your polyamide thread through your dull needle again, and this is why you want to have a reasonable amount of slack with your polyamide thread, because your needle's really big, so you need to have that movability to then thread your needle through again. So we're going to go for roughly the same position on the opposite side, and you might want to just kind of mess around with this initially just to make sure that you're happy with the position, and then just push it through the front again and bring that through. Now you want your string to be relatively taut, not rock solid, because you want to have some movement there so it can hook onto things, but you want it to be taut. You don't want it to be loose, because if it's loose, when you hang it on a nail or anything like that, you're going to see the thread hanging at the top of the head. So you want it to be relatively solid. So I'm going to tie my knot nice and close to the head area, and I'm just going to trim the excess off now for those 2 pieces that I've threaded, and I've just tied the knot in exactly the same way that I did with the first one, so no difference. And it's difficult to see here, but you can see where my finger is, it's quite close to the back of our duck's head. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take some more of my core wool, and I'm just going to place it over the head of my duck, because I just want that to be a bit larger. And this is very much, once again, personal preference. I want my duck's head to be a bit larger so it protrudes more from the wool, but you may well be happy with how yours is looking and you won't need to do this. I would definitely recommend putting a layer of wool over the top though, just to cover those knots of polyamide thread that you've just tied though. When you come to place your top coat over in the next tutorial, they will give a degree of coverage, but I think it doesn't hurt to just give a bit more coverage initially with that core wool, to make sure that when you look at it, when it's finished, you haven't got any lumps and bumps showing through, any nasty plastic bumps where you've tied those knots. So I'm just felting over those loose ends there where we've added the core wool, and later on, when we're going to be adding our top coat in a moment, we're going to be moving on to using our fine needles as opposed to our medium needles, just to get a smoother overall finish for our duck, and it's just going to give it that much more professional look once it's completed and hanging on our wall. And the other thing that you want to just remember and keep checking on is that the back end of our duck is nice and smooth and straight as well. What you don't want is any nasty lumps or bumps in the back area of the duck head, and then when you come to hang it on your wall when it's finished, it doesn't sit flush with the wall, it sticks out because you've not kind of felted the back down nice and flat. So just make sure that you've got a nice flat back to it as well. That's a really important thing. Whilst this is a very simple design, I would say that it's also one of those things that you really want to make sure you get it right and get it looking nice and even. So I'm just going in with another layer of core wool here, just to build up on my head again. Like I said, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's purely personal preference, but I just want to add a bit more bulk, but you may decide that with the kind of rubber duck you're looking to create, you don't need to do that. So you should eventually get to the stage where your rubber duck is looking like this. So it looks a bit like a snowman, as many people told me when I was initially making it, and I can see why they would say that. And I suppose you could make quite a good taxidermy snowman if you wanted to, hanging out the wall, very festive. So I'm just going to go in and add another piece now, because I really want this chest area to protrude outwards. And once you've got it all felted down, in true Blue Peter fashion, it should look something like this. And in a moment I'll show you from the side so you can see how it looks. So it should be relatively firm, but again, have a little bit of squidge in there. We don't want it to be rock solid at the moment. So I'm going to add another piece of wool now, just to really create loads of drama and volume to this sculpture. And don't be afraid, like I said a moment ago, to really go for it and add loads of wool to this, because the sculpture can really take it. So you should end up with something that looks like this. And from a side profile, you can really see how that chest is standing out. So when it's on a wall later, it's going to really look dramatic and be a real eye-catching piece to look at. So what I'm doing now is I've got my yellow wool bats, and I've gone for like a golden yellow, but go with the yellow that you like. And I'm just splaying it out. You can use smaller pieces if you want to. It just happens that the piece I managed to pull off was very large, and I've just splayed it out and covered it over the entire body of the duck that I've created. It's not sort of covering everything, but it's there or thereabouts, it's covering most of it. So I'm just initially using my medium needles just to tack it down, and then once we've tacked it down, I'm going to use the fine needles, probably just 2 side by side, to get a much more solid and even felt. So at the moment, the medium needles are purely being used just to tack everything into place and just to speed things up more than anything. Because if you were to use your fine needles straight away, you would obviously get a beautiful finish, but it would take you a very long time. And I think actually it doesn't matter too much if you've got some of those indentations from the fine needles, as long as you're not going for a really heavy felt all over the duck, and we can swap over and use our fine needles for that later on. So I'm just really focusing around that neck area, that area where the neck and the chest are separate, to get that dip and get a nice strong line through there, so that we've got a real, you can see the difference between the head and the chest. So it should look like this once you've got it all felted down. And I'm just using my fine needles now, as I said, to get that much smoother finish. And I'm just using my fingers just to push it inwards around that neck area as well, to get more definition there. So it can be quite time consuming, this point. A lot of this sculpture is quite time consuming, very simple but time consuming, and that's just purely because we're looking for areas of softness, and once again you want to be looking at those edges as well and making sure that those edges are nice and tight. So I'm taking another piece now and I'm just stretching it out ever so slightly, and then I'm just going to place that on the bottom part of the duck. and it doesn't matter too much if you've got any overhanging bits of wool, because we can just pull those round to the back and then felt them down, and again you're getting a nice tight finish with the overall felt, so don't worry about that. So I'm working on the front before I work on the back. It's purely personal preference, and I just think that you get a nicer, more even felt by doing it this way. But you could of course start from the back and then work your way around the front. The only difference I think is that you'll have those sections, those wispy ends that hang over the sides, you'll be bringing them round to the front if you're starting from the back, and it might give you less of an even look. So it's something to bear in mind, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. So I'm just working on those edges again. And then we're going to start adding wool to the sides, just so we can get all of that nicely integrated with the back of the duck as well. So I'm just placing them horizontally, and I think it's better to do it this way than vertically, just because the wool naturally works better this way in terms of pulling it from the front of the duck to the back of the duck. If you were to do it vertically, it wouldn't really work as well. You wouldn't have as much wool to play with, and then you'd have the wool going upwards, which might look a bit odd, whereas vertically you get a much more cohesive finish, if that makes sense. So that's what I would recommend doing. So you just want to start adding small patches now. You'll start looking at your piece and seeing areas where the white's shining through. So it's just going around that, taking small sections of the yellow felt and then just stabbing it down with your fine needle. And just be cautious that when you're going around that neck area, that you don't end up with the ends of the felt gathering in that neck crease, and giving you that clear, obvious line that extra wool's been added there. You want to try and get it as even as possible, so don't allow the wool to clump together in the neck. If you're felting more wool around that area, try and sort of pull it out and keep it nice and even and neat if you can. So I'm just starting to felt around the back end. The back end is a bit softer than the front end as well, so I'm just conscious of that and giving it a bit more of an even felt, so it's a bit firmer and a bit more solid. And then just working around that side area again. You want a good film on when you're doing this, because it can take a bit of time. And of course, like I said before, you could make a smaller one, so they don't have to be this size. You could make a bigger one if you wanted to. I mean, that would look amazing to have a huge duck's head. As long as you're happy to invest the time in doing it, you could certainly charge a really good price if you're planning on selling it. And I've no doubt that it would sell really well, because people love those sort of quirky, retro, vintage looking objects in their homes that really stand out and make people go, oh wow, that's cool, where did you get that? So I would say that making one even bigger would be a really cool thing to do, but just be aware that it's a big time investment, and if you are planning on selling it, you want to make sure that the time you've put into doing it reflects the price. Also, be really conscious when you're making this piece that you take breaks as well, because what you don't want to do is end up with repetitive strain injury from where you've been using your dominant hand for stabbing and then sort of have all sorts of long-term problems. So make sure you take regular breaks to give your arm and all your joints and muscles a bit of a rest in between. So it's quite satisfying now, because you can see everything's really coming together. And I'm just using still my fine needles just to tidy everything up and get that nice smooth felt. Just be conscious also that when you're felting the back of the duck, that you have your polyamide thread threaded through so that you can hang it when the sculpture's finished. What you don't want to do is put the yellow wool over the thread and then felt over it, and then you're a bit stuffed then and you've got nothing to hang your duck up with. So just be cautious of that. As you can see here, I'm removing pieces of the yellow wool because I don't want to use too much, and then I'm just basically felting as close as I can to that thread, and then eventually what I will do is I will lift it, as you can see here, and then just felt underneath it very carefully, but don't felt over it, because then you're going to cause yourself more work and problems along the way. Now, just be conscious, as when we were working on the front end earlier on, if you have any overhanging wool as you're adding wool to the back of the duck, that you're folding it over to the front and just eking it out so you've got a nice even piece that you're felting over on the duck's head. So it's going to be the visible side, so you really want to make sure that you get it as even as possible and you don't have any lumps and bumps where the wool's thicker in areas than other areas. So just be conscious of that when you're felting any overhanging wool from the back to the front of the duck. So the front's looking great now, it's really coming together and it's a nice even smooth felt. There's a few areas of white that I need to work on, but you can really get an idea now of what the overall finished sculpture's going to look like. So it's very much a bit of tidying everything up now and just looking for those areas where there's those white patches and covering them over. So I'm just going to go in again where that area has the polyamide thread, and I'm just going to felt around it and then just bring any wool, any loose ends of wool that are close to the thread underneath it and then felt those down as well. So it can be a bit tricky, this bit, not too tricky, but you just have to be very cautious that you're not felting, like I said a moment ago, felting that thread down with the yellow wool. So just take your time with this bit, and if needs be, just try and pull that polyamide thread out a bit. It should be nice and secure because we tied a lot of knots in it at the front of the duck's head earlier on, so it shouldn't be able to be pulled away. And it just makes it easier for you then to felt any of the yellow wool underneath it then. So you can see now it's getting to the point where it's nearly finished. I've just got that kind of slightly white line there. It just needs a little bit more wool just to cover it over. So I'm just using some very small sections and using that to hide any white bits where the polyamide thread is sat within our sculpture. And this part of the tutorial is nearly complete. We've nearly covered the entire duck in our beautiful vibrant yellow wool, and we're nearly ready for the next stage, which is going to be adding his bills or his beak and his eyes, which I'm really excited about because it's a very simple thing to add, but it will completely transform your sculpture into a really funky retro looking rubber duck. Now, as you can see, we've completed this part of the tutorial and he's got his beautiful, vibrant yellow layer of wool bats on him. So let's move on to the very last tutorial, which is adding his bill and his eyes. I will see you there.